started to be aggressive because they felt that was the only way to get it out. I don't know. This team is the best team that UAlbany's had in a while, and I just don't understand, given all the talent that was on that team. I don't know what this team has to do to finally get to the next level.
Do you think at this point, there's a possibility of the coaching staff being an issue if they're not?
Oh no,
I can't. I can't see Scott Marr changing.
That's the other thing. The head coach of Maryland played at UAlbany.
Really?
He played under Scott Marr, so that might have helped things.
Maybe the student has become the master.
Maybe, but Scott Marr has been at UAlbany for 17 years.
Yeah, Scott Marr's not going anywhere. He built that program into what it is today, and it's just the frustration of what's really going to be required to get them over this hump, because we've had monster players on these teams. Just the Thompson family alone. Mm-hmm. And he's recruiting well. I mean, 19 different players, I think, on the roster were Native Americans. I mean, he's recruiting people that know this game. I mean, Native Americans invented this sport. They grow up with this.
It's the official sport of Canada. He's going up to Canada and getting a lot of them. Mm-hmm. He's going to the hotbeds. He's getting players from the state of Maryland. He's getting players from the state of Ohio.
From Long Island.
From Long Island, which is, I don't know, I picked 2 cities in Long Island. Great lacrosse rivalry.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I played lacrosse in high school, and we played Long Island teams, and we got destroyed.
Yeah, well, it's something in the water with them. I remember playing them in high school as well.
They play it from
birth. They're born with a stick in their hand.
We didn't even have a JV lacrosse team until I was a sophomore. So,
but I mean, he's going into other territories because typically that's a hotbed for Johns Hopkins and other schools down in that area. But then he's going to outside Syracuse and getting people that are right out Syracuse's doorstep, and he's convincing them to go to UAlbany. So it's not the talent that's the problem. I don't know what it's going to take as far as it's got to sink into the players that are on the field, because there's only so much a coach can do when you see lackluster play like that. Like I saw teams play in the sectional tournament this year that were better than that performance.
Do you know what it really looked like? It looked like Albany looked up at the scoreboard, saw that little 1 next to Maryland and the little 8 next to them, and thought we shouldn't be here.
Yeah, but they should have known better. I mean, they had the game against them earlier this year. They probably, that game was extremely close.
It was a 1-goal game, yeah.
Right, and quite frankly, if they had to play it when it was supposed to originally be scheduled,
Albany would have won.
Given how cold it was, Albany probably would have won that game.
I would have been there for that game. It was terrible, frigid conditions.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm gonna. Can we get to the WWE? Because I really don't want to think about lacrosse.
Really quickly, I just have 3 things more that I want to say about this. One of the biggest issues is it was set up perfectly. Syracuse goes down.
Oh yeah. It couldn't have worked out any better for them to piss it away.
Duke goes down. Yeah, Ohio State's better than Duke. But Duke is one of those teams, like UConn in basketball. If they get there, they're good.
You'd be worried, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Denver takes out Notre Dame. So
Denver has slowly been building a very good program.
I mean, they won the national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, they've definitely been focusing a lot more out of Denver, and you don't expect that out west, though.
No.
So.
Especially for a team, and we discussed this last week on our podcast. Denver plays in the Big East.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Next thing that I want to say, I take a little bit of solace in knowing that the Stony Brook women lacrosse team lost as well. So, shout out.
Whatever makes it easier for you to sleep
I'm
at night.
pretty sure every episode I've mentioned how I hate Stony Brook.
Oh, I think anybody that's ever listened to a show is well aware of it.
Yes, and then the third thing, the key players are all coming back. J.D. Colarusso. T.D. Ireland's a freshman.
Well,
that's
the nation. Because that was their biggest Achilles heel last year, was not being able to face off. That was the problem. But then again, you get to a situation where you have such a good face-off guy, and then you're in this game, and he can't win face-offs. So, I don't. The kids, maybe this helps them. Maybe with these kids coming back and this demoralizing loss, it lights a fire under them, and they're like, we know we can get there, but we need to really take it to them next year.
I mean, you hope that's the impression that this.
I can't imagine,
especially because it, as you said, it wasn't like it was a good game. It was pretty embarrassing.
No, you were doubled up on national television. Yeah. That ESPN was promoting this as
the pseudo-national championship.
Yeah, the best game of the NCAA tournament, and it certainly did not live up to that hype.
If you had listened to the broadcast before the game, they had basically said whoever wins this game, we're picking to win the championship.
Yeah.
And they didn't say it in those words.
Right, but that could be the truth. Because at this point right now, I only think the only two teams that really should be facing each other in the finals, there's probably Maryland and Ohio State. Yeah.
Yeah, which would be a great rematch.
Yeah, Big Ten all the way
Ohio
around.
State. I think Ohio State beat Maryland in the regular season. Maryland beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. So I think they've got a grudge match going on. But and Connor Fields, he's only a junior. He's coming back.
Well, he's not going to leave early for the MLL.
No.
Let's be real here.
I mean, he's probably getting paid better in college with a meal plan than he is and MLL. MLL, and it's really, really sad because if you want to be a professional lacrosse player and you want to survive, you have to play in two different leagues: National League Lacrosse and Major Lacrosse League.
Yeah,
or Major League Lacrosse and National Lacrosse League.
It is a shame, and I've actually thought about this, and this is something we could have.
And if you're a defender, then it's a lot harder because MLL is just 6-on-6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's the other thing. We could discuss that in another podcast, but I'd like to have the conversation at some point as why the growth of professional lacrosse we're not seeing it translate. Because it is the fastest growing sport in the United States, but nobody seems to care to watch it.
I think we should have an episode on this.
Because I think there's something we could go into.
I'll tell you exactly.
The older generation is completely unfamiliar with it. I think as this generation that has grown up with it, gets older, then you'll see it.
There's a good possibility of that. There's also a couple things I think that they can change to make it more viewer-friendly, because I think some of it's hard to follow.
Here's why I think, it's not why I think. I'll give you the exact reason it's not, and it's going to be. They're anticipating by 2020 that the Pac-12 and the Big 12 will have lacrosse. So right now
it's expansion. It's
growth.
It's an Eastern thing. You're not. Well, I guess that makes sense. It's always been an Eastern. I mean, this makes me sound like a complete ass, but it is kind of it's one of those Eastern elite things for so long that it's been that way.
The only problem that I have with this is UCLA just going to dominate this too? Like do we really?
You've got those schools with that kind of funding. We might see the Danes, lose prominence because they're not going to be able to offer everything that.
Well, that's why the Danes need to get their titles in now.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they will. I think when it finally hits the West Coast, I think the Midwestern kids who are on the fence between lacrosse and football or lacrosse and baseball are going to go out west to play lacrosse.
I mean, it's possible. I also think that if you can establish yourself now, if Albany can establish this level of high play
and beat those big teams,
and actually produce here, if Albany could at least win one national title
or appear in a national championship,
that will put them in a status of at least giving them the prestige of this is a lacrosse school. This is what we do here, which is the way that they have been trending. It's just when you put them on national television, all of a sudden they're deer in headlights.
It's crazy. Like I said, I didn't mean for this to be a 20-minute conversation, but that's...
we did.
Yeah, that's what it's been. It looked like they looked up at the scoreboard just before the first face-off and saw, they're number 1.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're only number 8.
We can forget about this until next year.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Unless, of course, I see someone that has a Albany lacrosse, anything on at Chipotle, I will tell them exactly how I feel.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they ate bad Chipotle.
Maybe. Every Albany kid is there.
Chipotle way. So.
Yeah, I mean,
cardinal sin.
The game was in Delaware, which that shouldn't have caused anything. Because Delaware is awesome. It's not like they had to smell it.
I mean, it's kind of an advantage. It's an advantage, Maryland, but it's still a neutral site. So I'm done.
I don't know how neutral it is. How many Albany people are
a lot.
Down in
there were a lot.
I wouldn't say there were a lot. There was like a showing, but Maryland is.
Yeah, I'm air quoting neutral field because it was played at the University of Delaware. So technically,
our listeners can't hear you air quoting.
Well, they heard that.
Yeah.
They heard that. And,
quote unquote.
Yeah. So I mean, it was advantage Maryland given location, but You
got to rise up anyway. All right, let's
so WWE.
Switch gears.
We're going
completely opposite direction.
We're going hard and fast into WWE right now. WWE, it's the craziest things going on. The current champion, World Heavyweight Champion on SmackDown, is Jinder Mahal.
No idea who that is.
So he beat Randy Orton for the title. Jinder Mahal was this like complete terrible garbage wrestler, gets released by WWE, comes back jacked, roids.
Okay.
No.
Comes
That's
back
hard
jacked,
working dedication.
and gets his first singles title, or first title at all, probably, I think.
Does it have an asterisk like Barry Bonds
or Tom Brady? Oh
yeah.
no, it does. No, he does not.
Should.
But anyways, so seeing Jinder Mahal win the championship got me thinking, what 5 wrestlers do I want to see in the WWE today that aren't already there? So what we're doing is just that. Now, the rules that we came up with are can't be anyone dead, obviously. Can't be anyone who's paralyzed, that obviously can't wrestle.
So no Superman, okay.
Well, yeah, there was a wrestler who used to be a football player. I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. Darren, I think it was Drosdorf. He went by Droz or Puke, depending on what time of the week it was. He got in a real bad accident wrestling. He was paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh, didn't know that. That's
so can't be a case like that. And it has to be someone who's not currently in WWE. Currently in meaning they can be signed, but not someone who appears regularly. For example, Chris Jericho, he's out with his band Fozzy, still a WWE guy. You can say that he's one of the ones you want to see come back, but it can't be like someone from injury like, oh, I want to see, I don't even know who's injured and out right now. Let's say, I can't even think. You get what I'm talking about.
We know what you're driving at.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they're on IR. They're staying on IR.
Right. They're on IR. They're still active wrestlers. So we're gonna go just like normal. 5, 4, 3, 2. Honorable mention 1. We're gonna go around the room and we're going to discuss our top 5. So I will get the show started. My number 5. It's low-hanging fruit here because this is, if you've watched wrestling in the last 5 years, this is a really easy one. CM Punk. CM Punk is one of the most entertaining wrestlers to come out of WWE or any other wrestling promotion in a really long time. He's extremely charismatic. He's oozing with confidence. He was great at towing the line between a good guy and a bad guy. Even though wrestling is, the word they hate to say is fake, even though wrestling is scripted, he made it seem real. Probably because he put elements of his own life into his persona, like his straight edge personality, I guess. Straight edge, I don't even know what you would call it. He was the straight edge superstar, and sometimes that was used as a good thing, sometimes it was used as a bad thing. But he was himself, and I think that's really one of the things that helped him connect with fans. And he was just brilliant on the microphone. If you've never seen his pipe bomb promo, definitely look it up because it is incredible.
I like the choice. I think he was more of he brought it back to like the Attitude Era. He was one of those guys who could come in and do that, and it was something that the WWE desperately needed, and he can't fight, so, I mean, we found that out.
He can fight, just not well.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's scripted fighting. When you get into an octagon and someone's actually trying to punch your face in, it's a different story.
We're not talking about UFC, we're talking about WWE.
Just saying, he was a better star for the WWE. I mean, that charisma is what the WWE is. That's how it got to be this point. So I think he's a great fit and should be back in.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he was recently also offered $1 million to join this like 128-man tournament in England. and I don't think he's